Welcome back, everyone. So today we have a Greenlight. It's a Ford 1965 Shelby GT350. I guess technically it's a Shelby because this was made by Shelby American. They took bodies in white from Ford, and then Carroll Shelby's company in California modified them and pretty much made race cars out of them, at least in the 1965 year. So let's just take a look here, and I guess I'll talk a little more as I'm opening this thing. So there are several, several different Shelby Mustangs, but this is all about turtle wax. I thought it was about the car. Never mind. Okay, turtle wax is a car polish, for anyone that doesn't know. Okay, so the internet is telling me that this 1965 and 1966 model, they were the smallest and lightest of the Shelby GT350s. And they're also often called Cobras because it had the optional Cobra valve covers. And, you know, Shelby used that terminology. He literally had a car called the Shelby Cobra, but now he's just taking that moniker and adding it to a Mustang. So it's like a Cobra Mustang or Mustang Cobra. Maybe you Ford fans can chime in and correct me because very often I'm just getting this internet info and it's very often wrong, it seems. Okay, well anyways, supposedly a 289 cubic inch engine is powering this thing, or that's 4.7 liters, and with the Holley carburetor it's supposed to have over 300 horsepower, so that's pretty good, pretty powerful for the day. Besides the engine mods that Shelby did, there was some suspension mods and also larger brakes. So basically, again, it's pretty much a race car. It wasn't this first 1965-66 generation. They weren't meant for comfort or convenience. They're very loud, very harsh, and not fun to drive as like a daily driver. But they were meant for racing. And so the SCCA, this was the 3-year champion for the B production class. So obviously, it turned out to be pretty successful. And supposedly over 560 of these were made, the 1965 models. And these wheels here are supposed to be Krager wheels, and they're cast magnesium, 15-inch. So that's pretty special. You don't really get magnesium wheels these days. I'm not aware of any modern magnesium wheels, but then again, I don't buy wheels for cars. So anyhow, I guess I'll just get the dental pick and let's take a look here. So as usual from Greenlight, the side view is probably the nicest view because the panel gaps look really nice, and Greenlight seems to always do a really good job with their wheels. I like the wheel crispness that Greenlight is capable of. Unfortunately, the tires here leave a bit to be desired. You know, if you look at the sidewall blocks here, or the tread blocks, they look very tall. It almost looks like it's an off-road tire. Alright, so if you look at the images of the real car, it just doesn't look like that. In fact, I did pull up some images, and let's just compare it to these photos here. It's my understanding that the 65 model only came in a white and blue scheme like this, but I'm sure Greenlight just wants to get more money out of their mold and offered this different color variation, which I'm okay with. Looking at it, it looks pretty accurate. I mean, the same type of wheels, the lights seem to be in the same place. The only thing questionable is this black underneath the bumper. I have seen other photos where there is a vent there, so I'm not sure if that was an option or maybe it was a different year of this Shelby Cobra Mustang. I'm not sure. Again, if you Ford fans can chime in, XLT Off-Road Bear, maybe you know. I know you're a big Ford fan. Or Ron's Muscle and Diecast, maybe. Anyhow, let's go to the back view here. Try to focus on the car. I mean, the model. I mean, the little red thing I'm holding in my hand. And again, I think it looks pretty good. I've also noticed that some pictures don't have these louvers. There's literally a piece of glass there, So I don't know as well, is this like an option? Is this just a plastic cover for the glasses there? Or is this literally removing the glass panel and replacing it with this like louver? I don't know that either, and I'm a bit curious about it. Okay, well anyways, based on those pictures of a real car, it seems to be a fairly accurate model. I did also discover that this car nowadays, Haggerty is estimating its value at $400,000. So it'd be a wise investment to whoever actually kept one from the 60s. I apologize for this orange paint, but I'll explain that later. Here, I don't have a weird disease, it's just orange paint. Okay, so yeah, the printing here on the side seems alright, GT350. Unfortunately, the door handle isn't chromed out, there's no silver paint on it. Or is there? Oh, it's just on the top, which is kind of weird. It's not on the side. So yeah, if you see the keyhole lock here, I guess the whole silver thing just missed the mark. Let's see about this side. It's even worse on this side. So maybe that is intentional. It just seems kind of weird to me that, well, I guess from this view, it makes sense, right? It probably makes sense as the silver is on the top part. But for a video review, it looks a little odd, right? Okay, well anyways, other than that door handle, you know, this stripe as well is printed really nice. And these louvers again, they're cast in pretty nice. You got the little triangular window here, but it's nice to see open windows so we can see the interior. In fact, before I forget, why don't we just go and look at that this time around? Yeah, so yeah, I'll try the other side so we can see the steering wheel. Yeah, pretty decent details there. You can see some like instruments there on the dashboard too. So that's pretty nice molding detail. Has a pretty long shifter. Most shifters on these models seem to be pretty short, but that one's pretty long. It reminds me, is that like a Hurst shifter? I don't know. So again, any comments would be welcome. Okay, so I guess we'll go to the front. Yeah, painted lights. At least they're painted nicely. And then there does seem to be a texture in this grille, and that's painted alright. It's just this thing, yeah. I see it on some pictures, and then obviously not on the pictures I showed you just a second ago. These are nicely painted actually. You got silver, a silver rim, and then the orange blinker inside of it. And, well, this is kind of weird. Yeah, the bumper sadly is molded into the casting and then painted silver. This might be the first Greenlight where I've seen that. Most of the other ones I have, granted I don't have that many, but they seem to have different plastic pieces for their bumpers, but not this one. Okay. So I cherry picked this out of a store, a department store, and I picked the one with the smallest panel gap. So these panel gaps here are okay, but it's just, you know, not the same size as this. This one has to be larger, I think, because that's where it pivots. If it was super tight, it wouldn't open, or B, the paint would get all scratched off. Okay, there is some nice ribbing here, so that's pretty good. And then it's nice to see that Greenlight added the hood pin details, because that is true to the real car. Shelby added those. That's a really cool graphic too. That might be the best graphic I've seen of hood pin locks. So pretty cool. Seems like this vent is actually real, right? Look at that. Woo. Unfortunately though, because it is real, you got a little leftover casting or paint there that makes it look a little unsightly. Okay, so there's also some raised molded in wiper blades, and they're kind of hit with some silver. Unfortunately, the stripe here on the roof is missing some of the white. If you can, there's a bunch of the underpaint showing through, so that's too bad. Okay, so that's really tight. I'm not sure. Maybe that's because the gaps are so small. I don't know, but it's not good. So this is another issue with these opening panels. If you're gonna ruin the look of a model, at least have the panel open. But in this case, the thing doesn't want to open and it has panel gaps. I don't want to break it. Well, there's the engine, guys. Yeah, okay, somewhere in there I can kind of see a air filter. It looks silver. Yeah, alright, that's too bad. That's a real shame. It's just annoying, really. Sadly, there's some scratches here. So I don't know if that's from the blister pack, maybe vibrating against the blister, or it's a scratch from the factory. Anyways, the trunk also has those racing hood pins, so that's a really cool detail that they printed on there. And then yeah, the taillights look alright. They're pretty good for painted. I mean, the red is nicely filling in those recesses, and then the outer side isn't running off too much. They actually stick out quite a bit. You know, it's not flush with the casting. And then also this little, I guess maybe, is that the gas cap cover? But anyways, it's a Shelby badge, I guess. And that sticks out quite a bit as well. And now I'm noticing there's a tiny little silver lock mechanism there. And yeah, GT350, that's pretty legible. Let's go here, the little... Are those the exhaust tips? I don't know. When I look at the photo of the real car, I don't see anything there. So maybe these are reverse lights, and the exhaust is somewhere down here. Or the exhaust coming out the side, actually. When I look at photos of that real car, the exhausts are coming out the side right here. The Greenlight didn't capture that, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, there's a little recess here. Yeah, that's accurate. Okay. So yeah, we got two rivets there, so that wouldn't be easy to take apart and paint or swap wheels. So that's unfortunate. I guess copyright 2009, so this is a pretty old casting. Okay, and then you got the wide tires. It seems like Greenlight, they seem to have a certain size tire or a few choices. I feel like these tires, they should be a lot thinner. They are on the real photo, on the photo of the real car. So that could be a little better, but I guess for the price, it's okay. Okay, so, well, so in today's case of Greenlight, this is one of the nicer looking ones because the gap is so small. But I don't know if that affects the fact that this hood doesn't open at all. So it's kind of weird. Okay. Let's let it go for a spin here. And I want to kind of talk about something else here. Let you guys give you a forewarning of tomorrow's video or the next video. Maybe 20 years ago, I designed a car, not for the real world, just for my own pleasure. It's basically what I think my fantasy car would be. So you guys probably, if you watch my videos, you know I love this car. I think this is the greatest production car, or road legal style production car that was ever made. You know, if this was in a regular livery, of course. This is a McLaren F1, if you guys don't know. So I basically, you know, use this in the Gordon Murray Rocket, which is the same engineer, I believe. And if you look up a Gordon Murray Rocket, that's basically a single-seater car for the road. It's street legal, but it's only a single seat. It looks like basically like a Formula 1 car without the, basically it. So like an F1 car with fenders. So I used that in this car as inspiration for the car I'm going to show you guys tomorrow. And it's a model, it's a 1/64 scale car that no one has ever seen before, because it's my own design, and it's already ready. It took a long time for me to paint it, but stay tuned, I guess, and we'll see you then. Thanks.